The entire thing was done in like 6 weeks. How?
The rehearsal process started 6, 7 weeks ago.
Was it challenging?
Handling such a big cast is also quite a challenge. It's not that there aren't enough actors, but just coordinating 20 actors is quite a challenge.
You are someone like, with the process, જેમ જેમ આગળ વધતા જઈએ, find the ways.
Let's see how it goes. I don't know. I'm nervous as usual before a new production.
How you have changed over the period of time, like initial enthusiasm, the stress, the anxiety.
Every new production is a bigger challenge than the last one. And, I have a lot of self doubt. You may not believe this, but you're catching me at a time when I'll wake up at 3 in the morning and worry, Okay, so that never changes.
The horse, a very complicated script, and I was talking to Akashi, and he told me that you just, like the entire thing was done in like 6 weeks. How?
Yeah, it's actually a little more than 6 weeks, about 7 weeks. But only, I mean, it is the rehearsal process started 6, 7 weeks ago. But the work on the play started from around December, January. The thinking about the play, talking to collaborators like costume people, set people. Able to come, we have been working for several months. So what our process is that the background work of the play happens well in advance. Once the actors come in and a rehearsal room, then we have to work very fast
True.
because holding 20 actors together. Okay, rehearsal spaces are very expensive. It's a per hour rate.
Yeah.
So you have to work very fast in order to, and also actors don't have that much time like they used to have, you know. So then we work very rapidly. But in order to do that, the preparation has to be done well in advance.
True.
So I would say from December, January, I've been working on it. So that's almost like 7 months before the opening show.
And I was, I wrote a piece, just, a pre-copy kind of thing. So while I was writing that, I read that you had read this play in 80s. And
Yeah.
it was there, and there are certain stories and certain things, they just stay with you. Why
Yeah.
do you think it stayed with you?
So I read it when I was much, much younger, about 30 years or 34 years ago. And I don't know why I was very struck by the play immediately. But at that time, there was no way I could have done it because I didn't have the means to do it. It was a big production. It was clear that this is requires so many actors, etc. But it stayed with me, I think, mainly because of the wonderful combination of comedy and satire. And I think that is not so. One doesn't see that often enough. So that stayed with me. And it's really funny. Okay, it's really funny. And the satire is very sharp. So I think that's why it stayed with me. The other reason is that, when we do an Aadyam production, we produce at a scale which is much bigger than our normal work. Okay.
Yeah.
And all plays can't be produced at scale. So you have to also find a play which allows that kind of treatment. So to take a small play and try to make it big on a big stage
Doesn't
would
make
not
sense.
work. Yeah, doesn't make sense. So this play immediately I remembered because it has that possibility of being, produced on scale.
Was it difficult? Was it challenging? Or you are someone like, with the process, જેમ જેમ આગળ વધતા જઈએ, you find the ways. How was it to work on this?
I think the first challenge was language because I was keen to do it in English. It's set in Rome, at the turn of the century. So it's quite early. And I didn't feel that we should do it in the adaptation, etc. Okay. Because part of the fun is that it's set in a particular time period and a particular culture. The kind of actors I normally work with, they are much more comfortable with, Hindi or Marathi or even Gujarati. So, a kind of a literary English. A lot of people speak English, day-to-day English, but the literary English has its own challenges, much like when you do Shakespeare. It requires that. So that was one challenge. handling such a big cast is also quite a challenge. It's not that there aren't enough actors, but just coordinating 20 actors is quite a challenge. Luckily, we've got a wonderful team. I mean, they're all very enthusiastic and they're very open to working around their other schedules and giving time to the play. So that was also a bit of a challenge to find people who would be invested in the project. Yeah. So these are the two challenges really. These are the two challenges. Um, let's see how it goes. I don't know. I'm nervous as usual before a new production.
And your journey has been amazing. Like from the kind of work that you have been doing for all these years, and then this, uh, some of your works. I mean, I love your work, so I don't want to sound like a
Thank you.
fangirl,
No, 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 no.
but
Please continue. Yeah.
it's amazing. And how you have changed over the period of time, like initial enthusiasm, the stress, the anxiety, the comfort, the confidence, everything changes. And of course, experience adds, a different flavor to it. How have you changed working on, all sorts of projects and the kind of work that you have always done? It's like a very subtle, I'll not use the word whistleblowing, but raising a voice in a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
democracy. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
sure, sure. I think I'll just answer the second part of your question first. For me, it's very important why one does theater. Okay. And
Yeah,
I feel that theater has a very strong role to
of course.
play in society. Okay. So that has been consistent for the last 50 odd
All,
years. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And you see it in different forms in different places, but it's a consistent factor. About experience and confidence, let me tell you that it gets more and more difficult as time goes on. I don't know the experience of others, but for me, every new production is a bigger challenge than the last one. And, I have a lot of self doubt, a lot of self doubt. Oh, yes. And that never goes away. It's not as though that it's not like, let me give you an example. It's not like running a business where you work very hard for 3 years, then after a while the business runs itself. It's not like that. Every time you do a production, it's really starting from scratch.
Yeah.
So the anxieties remain. I mean, you may not believe this, but you're catching me at a time when I'll wake up at 3 in the morning and worry, Okay. So that never changes. So
True. And I think people's expectations are also there because, it's your work and people are looking forward to it. People who have seen a lot of your work, people who are maybe seeing it for, your work for the first time.
yeah,
I think somewhere you also feel that responsibility that you have to deliver
of
to a
course.
certain level.
Of
Yeah.
course. I also feel a great responsibility to Aadyam because, they're really putting out a lot of resources for something
Yeah.
like this. So we have to, match up to them.
And I believe that anything that you do, whether the work is good, bad, whatever, because sometimes we just take up the projects and we are like, I don't know why I'm here, but we do it because we have taken the responsibility. How this particular project has challenged you and how it has changed you.
Well, as I said, the challenges are just the scale of it and the largeness, the large
Yeah.
number of
Yeah,
people to
which you mentioned.
coordinate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that has been the big challenge. Also, what happens is that in our theatre landscape, different actors come from different backgrounds, different schools of theatre, different
Yeah.
schools of acting.
The understanding.
So I think always when you do a production with many actors and many of whom you have not worked with before, it's how do you find a consistent performance style? That also becomes a challenge. So that it doesn't look itsy
Mm.
bitsy. It kind of, comes consistently together. I think that's been a big challenge. I mean, that's one of the challenges, and I think that's what we have been working very hard towards.
Mm. Mm.
Uh, I think these are the two main things. Baki, the play is so well written that I think it will work for itself. We just have to help it work for itself. That's all.
What next for you?
I probably am doing a production in February, a play in Kannada, in Karnataka, in a theatre school.
Okay.
So I like a lot. I like to work with young students a lot. So
Yeah.
last year I was in Kerala. I did a student production in Malayalam. This year I hope to do one in Kannada. So that's what. And then we run a residency space outside Bombay called USPAR,
Hmm.
Performing Arts Residency. So I spend a lot of time there. making that place work. So there is a lot of teaching work. There's a lot of traveling. All that happens continuously.
So as you just mentioned that you love to work with the new younger generation, theater is, I was discussing the same with Akashi also. The theater is something, the art of storytelling through performances. It's never going to go, but the major changes that have happened over the period of time, the way stories are told, or the kind of stories are told. Uh, what are the three things that you're happy about when it comes to theater, and what are the three things that you're not very, you
Well,
feel?
I can talk in the context of Mumbai. Today, the amount of theatre work that is happening in Mumbai in
Hmm.
different languages, in different scales, whether it's the commercial, professional theatre, whether it is at the other end of the spectrum, the small plays happening in alternative spaces. The scale of activity is just amazing. Okay, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's also very interesting historical period when these small spaces have become a possibility for young people to test out their skills, okay, which was not there before. More and more young people are coming into theatre looking for a possibility. I think that's great. On the other hand, what I feel is that we desperately need some kind of infrastructural support, institutional support for the younger theatre people. It's a very uncertain and difficult existence. And as a community, I feel that we can do a lot more to support people who want to make theatre a way of life. Okay. And when I say theatre a way of life, they're looking at it as an art form more than necessarily just a career. Yeah, yeah. So I tend to look at that a little more carefully because there are two ways of looking at anything. One is as as a career, as a way of making a living, and the other is also to look at it as an artistic pursuit. And in the arts, you have the possibility of doing both. So I think that needs to. So these are the So I would say that is the. On the other hand, because theatre is so resource poor, uh, theatre people tend to have to do too many other things to make a living. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is in a way it's good that you expand your skills and all that,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
can be very hard. Mumbai can be very difficult for them to survive and to live. Everything is so expensive. Just taking an auto to rehearsal and back costs 250 rupees, and you rehearse for 6 weeks. You can just multiply and you see. So I just really hope that the economics of theatre could improve, in some way or the other. We have to figure out ways. And we will have to do it. There's nobody else going to do it. So
Yeah.
we will have to do it. So these are the things that I think about and I'm happy about, but I'm also concerned about. All
I
right.
think I'll let you go because I know you
Yeah.
got your,
Yeah.
rehearsal.
Rehearsal stuff.
I'll
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
you some pause before you go for the rehearsals. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lovely talking to you.
Lovely. Lovely. Thank you very much, Ranga.
My pleasure.
Okay.
સબસ્ક્રાઇબ કરો ગુજરાતી મિડ ડે બેલ આઇકોન પર ક્લિક કરીને મેળવો તમામ વિડીયોના ડાયરેક્ટ નોટિફિકેશન.